Have you ever wondered what it's like to stay in Norwegian Cruise Line's private luxury enclave, The Haven? Imagine your own private concierge and butler, a private restaurant, exclusive suites, a hidden private pool deck, and a whole lot of peace and quiet. We're taking you inside The Haven on the Norwegian Bliss to see if this ship within a ship experience is really worth the hype and the steep price tag. We just wrapped up our time on the Norwegian Bliss, sailing 7 days throughout the Mexican Riviera. And if you guys missed out on our full vlog from that, we'll link that up here. But while we were on board, we got an exclusive behind the scenes look at some of the iconic Haven rooms on board. So we're gonna show you around the Haven, what's included inside, as well as full room tours of 3 of the different room categories on board. So let's get into it. So if you're new to cruising, you might not be familiar what the difference is between the Haven and the regular staterooms. Basically, they're much more elevated, they're much more expensive, but they come with a lot more perks. So when deciding if the Haven's gonna be for you, you wanna ask yourself a couple of questions. Firstly, the Haven experience would be great for anyone celebrating a special occasion, like a birthday, a honeymoon, an anniversary, where you wanna splurge a little bit. If you hate crowds, this would definitely be the route for you if you still want to enjoy a cruise without having to deal with hundreds of other people surrounding you in all of the public places on board. Or if you're a couple that just wants peace and quiet and some pampering for a quick luxury getaway, then the Haven would definitely be for you. Now, if you are more of a budget traveler or you're planning on getting off the ship all day long, so you're only really there for meal times, it might not be for you if you are trying to get a bang for your buck, because a lot of the Haven's perks really come from being on board. So we have a couple of tips to book the Haven to make the most out of your booking experience. Make sure you book early because there are a limited amount of Haven rooms on board, the Bliss in particular, but as well as other Norwegian ships. And when we were doing our behind the scenes tour, our contact said that the Haven suites are always 100% booked out. Like, they are fully busy, fully at capacity. So if you want to take advantage of the Haven, make sure you're signing up for your Norwegian cruise at least a couple months in advance. You also have the option to choose between like aft or forward rooms if you are calling in to make a request. So I would definitely recommend figuring out whether you want to be in the front or the back of the ship. Sometimes if you call NCL directly, you might be able to find some hidden deals that aren't published online related to Haven fares too. So that's an insider hack. And last but not least, check different dates to see the different pricing. Although that you might be looking at the same exact itinerary, like the Mexican Riviera itinerary that we were doing on the Bliss, or let's say the Alaska itinerary that they also do on the same ship, different dates will have different pricing. So if you're going in peak season, you might be getting the Haven at a much higher price than if you were going in the shoulder season. So definitely check that out. If you're looking to do the Haven on more of a budget, try doing a little bit of the shoulder season time. So now that we've gone into booking the Haven, let's get into the room walkthroughs. When you're looking on Norwegian's website, there are 9 different Haven room categories that you can choose from. So it can kind of be overwhelming on deciding which one to choose. So we got to look at 3 different room categories. Technically, it kind of overlaps with 6 or 7 of the 9 because the only difference between a few of them is the size of the balcony. But let's get started with the first room. This is the biggest and best cruise ship room we have ever seen. This is the Haven's premier owner suite with a large balcony, and it is 1,459 square feet, fitting 6 people, and this felt massive when we were walking through here. This was by far bigger than any hotel room that we've ever stayed in, honestly, and it was about the size of 3 or 4 staterooms combined. So this is living in luxury. This is gonna be the most expensive option in the Haven, and you can definitely see why. These stunning suites offer breathtaking views from the large forward-facing balcony, so if you are looking for a great view on your balcony, you will not be disappointed with this room. It also features spacious and luxurious accommodations that include separate living and dining rooms, 3 bedrooms, 2 with a king-size bed, and the other with a double sofa bed, 3 bathrooms, a guest half bath, and the indulgence of butler and concierge service to tend to your every need. So this room is definitely top tier. You will be spending a lot of money on this room, but 100% worth the experience if you're going with your family for a special occasion or just want to live in luxury on a cruise ship. Next is the Haven's 2-bedroom family villa with a balcony. This is about 622 square feet and also fits 6 people. And this was our favorite of the room categories, specifically for the incredible bathroom you have on the Bliss in particular. These rooms have these bathtubs that overlook the ocean on the side, so you could just be cruising along and enjoy the views from your bathtub. I will say this is one of the coolest rooms in the Haven suite. If you guys missed our video back in December where we were on Norwegian's Viva and stayed in the Haven, they did not have these cool bathtubs. So I would say that's a cool perk of this particular room style on the Bliss, and I wish they had that on more of their other ships. These luxury villas in the Haven are perfect for families. It has 2 different bedrooms, one with a king size bed and the other with a double sofa bed. It comes with additional bedding as well as 2 different bathrooms. And last but not least, the final room we got to walk through was the Haven Courtyard Penthouse with a large balcony. It ranges based on which room you get, but is anywhere between 324 and 536 square feet, fitting 3 people max. So this is your average room. If you're a couple, you're probably going to be looking at a room like this, and you can admire the ever-changing views from the balcony. There are 2 different room categories for this, whether you get a regular size balcony or a large balcony, so that's totally up to you. Obviously, the large balcony is usually a little bit more expensive. But outside of that, those 2 rooms didn't really differ. They basically were the same thing. So it's really how much time are you going to be spending on your balcony? If you want to choose that, then, that's going to change your pricing model. But in our opinion, you could just go with the regular balcony, honestly. So that is it for our room walkthroughs. All of these are stunning suites that are definitely worth it for a more luxe option for a cruise vacation on Norwegian's Bliss. And let's get into all of the other perks that you get for booking the Haven when you're sailing on the NCL Bliss.
So what else does the Haven include? Not only do you get this incredible room, but you also get access to the Haven Courtyard, which is kind of a 2-parter. First off, inside, they have this beautiful pool with a glass rooftop that actually opens up when it is beautiful outside to let the fresh air in. It also has a private jacuzzi in here, and all of the rooms kind of look into this indoor courtyard. Not only that, but you can continue walking forward, and up above this courtyard, you have an outside section with 2 jacuzzis. This is similar to the Vibe Beach Club. If you were looking at the ship, you have the Vibe Beach Club here, and if you just continue walking, that is where you are going to have the Haven area at the very front of the ship. So it is pretty interesting that it's similar to the Vibe Beach Club. Personally, I like the newer Haven on the Prima and the Viva and the Aqua, because instead of just getting these 2 private jacuzzis, you get an outdoor infinity pool, which I think is pretty magical. Now that is the pool area on inside and outside. In addition to that, you also get this amazing observation deck. It's in the very front of the ship. There is a bar there. It has tons of amenities. It has seating, and it has a massive glass window where you can look outside. We had the opportunity to go here, even though we were staying in a regular cabin, because we got invited to the captain's party, which is if you've sailed on Norwegian for enough nights, because we've sailed over 100 days on NCL, we got the opportunity to get invited to us, and that's when we were able to relax, enjoy drinks, meet the captain and crew, and check this area out. Unfortunately, it was nighttime, so we didn't get too much time to see the view outside, but you could tell it was going to be stunning. Another really cool section is the restaurant on board that they get. So they get a private concierge, and then right next to that, you have this nice little outdoor seating and indoor seating where the Haven guests can have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. This can save you so much time from having to go and wait in line at the local, or going to the garden, which is always pretty busy, or going to Taste and Savor for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. So this is a really nice spot. The Haven restaurant is basically like another specialty restaurant. We've noticed the food there is phenomenal every single time that we've had it. Now that is just what is included next to the rooms. We haven't even got to the best part yet, which personally is going to be the priority disembarkation and embarkation, meaning anytime you need to get off the ship. For instance, on this one, we had to do a tender port when we docked in Cabo. So since we had to grab a tender boat in order to get off the boat, if you were staying in the Haven, you could show up 5 minutes before it was time to get off the boat, hop on and get off. You were one of the first people off, which means you get to spend more time offshore. That at tender ports is especially important because the line we heard was over an hour to 2 hours long for some of the people that were looking to get on a tender boat. If you were one of the later people, you have to show up really early in order to get off the boat on time if you're one of the normal passengers. Not only that, but when you're coming back to the ship, you also get to go on board early. So when you come back to port, typically there's a very long line, people waiting to get on the bus or the shuttle or the tender to get back on the ship. But with the Haven, you have your own line to where you can cut to the front of the line. Think of Disneyland. If you were to cut the entire 2-hour line waiting for cars because you have the Disney Fast Pass or Lightning Pass, it's kind of the same thing here with the Haven, which is just another one of the perks, but personally, I think that's one of the best ones. A couple other things is they do get VIP seating in the theater. We went and saw the show Jersey Boys, and the Haven had their own private section that they could go and sit, so you don't have to show up 30 minutes early to a show. Another little thing that they get are private elevators. So typically when you get back on board, the elevator always takes forever to show up. Same thing if you want to disembark and you have your luggage, typically you have to wait a long time on cruises in order to get off. The Haven doesn't have that problem. You can walk up and you instantly get your helicopter and you instantly get your elevator because they have a private elevator dedicated just for Haven guests. And the last part is you have a dedicated concierge that I mentioned earlier. So this means no more waiting in long lines in the atrium. In the atrium, the guest services desk and the concierge lines typically get very, very busy, especially during the beginning of the cruise and the very end of the cruise. So instead of having to worry about that, you can just go to your concierge, ask them about anything that you need, and they should be able to get it for you. Now, our personal thoughts on the Haven, because we're not getting paid to make this video, this is just completely our opinion since we got to go and check it out, is if you are looking for a cruise where you have private amenities, you don't have to deal with the lines, you want to avoid the chaos of the crowds, you don't want to have to reserve a seat to relax on a lounger next to the pool or have 20 other people trying to get in the jacuzzi with you, then I would recommend looking at the Haven. Yes, it is going to be more expensive, but if you're used to staying at places that are similar to more of the Four Seasons and the St. Regis and the Ritz-Carlton that are very luxury, amazing experiences compared to staying at other places that might be like the Hilton or the Residence Inn or a lower class Marriott, that's kind of what you're thinking about when you go and take a cruise on a regular room or even a balcony room compared to the Haven experience. Now that being said, the Haven does not completely remove you from the rest of the ship. For instance, if you want to hit the slides, if you want to go to the go-kart racing, if you want to go to the buffet or the comedy club, all of that you will have to experience like anyone else would on the ship. There's no specialty Haven areas for those accommodations. But overall, you do feel like you have a pretty exclusive, special relationship with the ship when you are there on a Haven experience. And that is it on our personal opinion and the full walkthrough of what you're going to get if you book the Haven on the NCL Bliss. It is a really magical experience if you get to do it. I would definitely recommend doing it at least once on one of the newer ships with NCL. But if you want to see what our full Mexican Riviera trip was like, make sure to check out this video right up here. And if you guys got value from this and you want to see a new bucket list destination every single Sunday, make sure to hit that like and subscribe. And with that, we'll see you out there on the next adventure.